I believe that Milton Satan from Paradise Lost was a very sympathetic character because he was very relatable through the way that he dealt with the consequences of his actions and the way that he faced his place. So he had a hard time accepting his position, and this happened when he was banished from heaven. He tried to act like heaven wasn't as great as it really was, and he was saying negative things about it and kind of trying to make hell seem more desirable than it really is. And I don't think that he actually thought that. I just think that he had a hard time accepting that it was as great as it was and he couldn't be there and that he had to be in hell. And quote I have to support this is, "While I to hell am thrust, where neither joy nor love, but fierce desire, among our other torments not the least." So he was aware that hell wasn't great, but I feel like he couldn't accept that he was where he was. And I feel like that's something very relatable because oftentimes when people do something or people don't get something that they want, they try to downplay how good it really is to make themselves feel better and to feel more validated with where they are. And that quote was in lines 508 to 510 in book 4. So I believe that Satan ceases to be sympathetic when he comes to the point of no return in terms of morality. I believe that people have a moral compass and that there's only so much they can do to push that. And I feel like there's always a chance for people to redeem themselves and to make better choices. But I think that he passed the point of that, and that's where you can't connect with him anymore as a character, is when he was just no longer redeemable. And a quote I have to support this is, "My motions in him longer than they move. His heart I know, how variable and vain." And that was in lines 91 through 93 in book 11. So I think that quote shows that no matter how much effort you put into him at that point, nothing good was going to come out of it because he was past the point of trying to make a better person. I believe that Milton did have a very conscious intention here because throughout the whole text he was able to illustrate Satan in a certain way that made him relatable. I don't know if that was necessarily intentional, but I know that the evilness behind him was very intentional. But just the fact that we could connect with it as a reader, I feel like was maybe just by chance, or just shows that humans often share the same flaws, and that's unintentionally intentional. Because when you're saying a lesson, you're giving the lesson to people, but you don't know if they're going to connect with it. And I think that the readers did. And